It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine, Salt and Pepper and Heavy D up in the limousine. Had to go back on you. Had to go back on you. You like my background, man?
No, that's old school. I can appreciate that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right on, Word Up magazine. I can
Oh, no
appreciate those.
doubt. No doubt, man. Yo, back in the day, man, I used to cut the magazines up, put the pictures on my wall, just like Biggie said. I mean, that was a real thing. You used to
Every
do that?
every every Saturday, Rap Attack, Mr. Magic Molly Mall.
Shh.
When did you fall in love with hip hop? I have loved you from the first time I laid eyes on you. And I love you still.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine,
I didn't mean for you to do that again.
Salt and Pepper, Heavy D up in the limousine.
I didn't mean.
Yo,
I didn't
I-
mean for you to do that again. That's not what I meant.
I know, but I love that Biggie song, man. When I heard them, like, yo, I used to do that. All right, I digress. All right, hello world. It's Misterr Galloway, my man Hendo.
What's up?
We're here, huh?
I just said what's up.
We're here. You're here. Electric Relaxation. We're back. Oh yeah, we getting there. I know you love my background, man.
It's dope. It's dope. It's old school.
Yes, yes. Man, I used to do exactly what Biggie said. Literally. Cut the people out of the magazine, put them on the wall. No, my mother had a fit, but that's what I was doing. Man, so it just has me reminiscing. Speaking of which, that's what today's show is. It's reminiscing. You know what I mean? So I think this is what we should do. I'm going to say an artist. You'll say an artist from back in the day. And we'll just do it like a, you know what? Remember that artist or remember that group? You get what I'm saying?
Who? Okay.
You want to go first? Want to flip a coin?
Nah, bro, you got it.
Okay.
Give me time to rehash some things in my head.
All right. Do you remember the group Stats Society? Some people don't like the way that Sally.
One, two, three, four, hit it.
Did you know this stuff? Did you know? I know the Roots. Shout out to the Roots. They used the live band, but Stats Society was using live instrumentation back then. Back then, you know, back when the Roots was looking at them. So man, shout out to Stats Society, man. Shout out to Stats Society.
So I guess it's my turn. Back in the day, I think I'm going to have to go with he was hot for a minute and he fell off. But if you watch Unsung like I do, you find out why. So you need to get on that TV One joint. Like it's got a lot of old hip hop artists on there. You should check out. So my first pick from They Reminisce Over You is going to have to be Special Ed.
Special Ed. Okay.
I got it made. Dun, dun,
dun, yes. Yes.
Dun, dun, yes. Dun, dun. He came out with that hot.
Yes, it was.
Yo, who is this kid coming here spitting like this? And that beat?
Yes. Yes.
Then it was like, all right, you know, he kind of hot. Can he do it again?
Hmm. We on the yeah.
So come to find out, and this is what happened with a lot of artists from our time that we grew up, like even behind you with Big Daddy, Salt and Pepper and them, Heavy
Mm,
D. What happened was gangster rap came about,
mm,
and it was a crossroads in hip hop. So what happened was our artists, which I call our artists because we
right.
came up with them. Our
Yeah.
artists had a decision to make. Do you keep making the fun, dance, cheerful style of music, or do you try to go a little bit harder? Because hip hop shifted to that
Mm,
realistic rap.
right.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Them street stories.
Yeah.
So with Special Ed, it was like, oh, he had some issues with his label, went somewhere else. Then it was like, all right, I guess I got to come out a little bit harder because
Mm,
back then, Big Daddy dressed up with the silk on, trying to
yeah.
look pretty and stuff.
Right.
So after, let's just call it what it is. It was that, you know, that street stuff.
Right.
Um, those guys looked at it soft, so they tried to come out with their own version of harder lyrics, edgier videos, but your hardcore bass wasn't with it,
Hmm.
and it was like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, with you saying that, it brought some guys to mind because back then everybody just did them. You know what I mean, and said whatever they thought. To me, I don't want to say it was a playful time of hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
but it felt that way. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go with a couple of guys in this one. But you had Steady, and I'm gonna tell you in a minute why. Because of what you said, piggybacking off of that. But you had Steady B and you had Cool C.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those brothers was from Philly. Now I think they doing football numbers, for the stuff they did. But their raps didn't even touch on what they were doing. You know what I mean? I don't want to get into what they were doing. You could Google it. But, they had some dope, I don't want to say playful music, but music you could party to. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I love that about hip hop. You know what I mean? Because you had guys like that. They could have been out in the streets doing whatever. You had your G raps, but
Facts.
you had other guys that may have lived their life, but they didn't have to portray it. They just did them. You know what I mean? Just did fun music.
Mm-hmm.
So, I kind of did a 2 for 1. You know what I mean? But you made me think about them when you said what you said, because I'm like, dang, Cool C, Steady B, you know?
So that was your pick. That was your second pick.
Yeah,
Okay. I just
two
thought you.
A and B,
Yeah, I
two
mean,
A and B.
I don't know if you were just saying or okay. All right, so I guess I'm gonna have to go to a game changer, and this game changer is not for the reasons that you think.
Hmm.
This takes me back to high school,
Okay.
and it may not have been reality rap, but it was real enough for my mother,
Mm.
and my mother never said anything to me until this. So my my reminiscing goes back to Uncle Luke and the Two Live Crew.
Oh.
Listen, I remember being a child hearing stuff I probably shouldn't have been hearing at the time.
Mm.
And what happened, and the reason why he was a game changer was he was one of the specific reasons why they started putting the explicit lyrics on records,
Oh yeah.
and you couldn't
Hands
buy
down.
records at a certain age.
Right.
So Uncle Luke, listen, they had some fun raps. There was some raunchy raps, and they kind of paved the way for Lil Kim, Foxy
Mm.
Brown.
Mm.
Without them, I don't think that they get away with the stuff that they got away with. Now, long story short, I ended up when I was in the military and I was in South Carolina. I ended up seeing Little Kim and Two Live Crew live.
Oh man. How was
Uh,
that?
it was horrible,
Really?
horrible, sir. Um,
Mm.
it was It was so first I saw Lil Kim. I can't remember
Mm.
what arena it was in. When I tell you, was like 6 of us showed up, like 6 people in the audience. It was so bad we was all standing at the stage like this, and
Wow.
she was right here. So people
Mm.
was touching her,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to go touch her, and then I was like, ugh,
Ah.
nah, I'm not.
Mm.
You know, like once, like we said before, when we was having that conversation before,
Right.
don't always meet your idols. It's
Yes.
not
Yes.
always a good thing. So
Yes.
that I kind of was like, oh man, it kind of killed. I got home from that concert. I took a poster off my wall.
Mm.
I was like, oh man. Then I remember seeing the Two Live Crew, and it was at this club called the Dirty Foot.
Mm. The Dirty Foot.
The Dirty Foot. Because
FOOT.
Dirty Foot. It was because,
Oh,
like I said, we were in Bottom, South Carolina,
got you.
and it was a club that had dirt floors,
Mm.
and your shoes would always get dirty, so they called it the Dirty Foot.
Got you. Got
And I
you.
mean,
Got
it was a little club. It was like in somebody's garage or something.
you.
And
Wow. Wow.
Two Live Crew came through, and it was cool. It was some extra women there, and all me and a bunch of my buddies were there until one of my buddies came back, and he was like, he had this lollipop.
Mm.
And he's just eating it and eating it and eating it. We're like, yo, why you eat this lollipop like that, dude? He was like, oh yeah, one of Luke dancers, she stuck it up and whatever and gave it to me. And we like, yo, you know what they did before they came on stage, right?
Mm.
And after that, I was just like, nah, I'm done with you, Lifer.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you got to respect Luke for
Oh, no
everything he brought
doubt.
to hip hop.
No doubt, man. He literally, like you said, changed the game. Man, shout out to Luke. Man, shout out to your homeboy. That was nasty. That was
That was disgusting. That was
that was
disgusting stuff, bro.
man.
Jeez.
Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Don't say his name. Let
Yeah,
him just
I don't even
yeah.
know. Like, I don't know what that dude is. This is like 1997. It's 98, 96 or 97. I don't even know
Man,
who that dude was.
the way you describe that lollipop scenario, I'm never eating another one again.
so all right, listen,
Ah,
not to go off on tangents or anything, but speaking of not eating, remember the time we did that job at Dunkin' Donut?
I do. I do. I do.
Bruh,
Yes.
I haven't eaten at Dunkin' Donut since.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Man.
listen, for all y'all out there that don't know, we used to work for this company, and we used to do restoration.
Mm-hmm.
And one day they asked us to come in at like 3 o'clock in the morning
Yes.
to do the air ducts for this Dunkin' Donut, clean out the air ducts for this Dunkin' Donuts. So we up there, they're not open. We cleaning the air ducts, we doing what we need to do. By the time we wrapping up, it's opening time. And when they're opening, somebody comes through the drive-through. But we look over, the dude is sitting on a counter picking his toes where he makes the sandwiches. He gets off the counter, brushes off his foot crumbs,
Yes.
and starts making somebody a sandwich.
Yes. Yes.
Bruh.
Yes.
What
It's
was
one
that?
of them. One of them things. Huh? Oh my bad.
That had been like 18, 19 years ago. 18, about 18 years ago.
It's that long. Easily.
Easy.
Easily. You know the crazy thing about that is you can't unsee that.
Mm-mm.
And even with you telling it, it's just like, it just make me want to throw up. Just
I live
throw it up.
across the street from the Dunkin' Donut.
Oh Lord.
And the kids always want to go over there and get some Dunkin' Donuts. They're like, you want something? Never.
No. Right,
Never.
right. Yeah. Well, that they everywhere. They like McDonald's.
Oh, no doubt.
Shout out to Dunkin' Donuts. Speaking of which, the show, we touched on it. Reminisce.
Mm-hmm.
It's with Pete Rock and CL Smooth, man. Dope group. One of my favorite songs. So that's where we got the show from. If you don't know about Pete Rock and CL Smooth, Google. Man, CL Smooth is one of the smoothest lyricists ever. And Pete Rock did so many tracks from everybody, from Nas to Jay-Z. You know it. And so on and so forth. So definitely check out CL Smooth, Pete Rock and CL Smooth. But anyway, Nice and Smooth. Do you remember those guys? Shh. Nice and Smooth is funky. Man, I
Yeah.
love Nice and Smooth, man. And you know what I loved about them is their simplicity. You know what I mean? They would spit these clever rhymes and it was so simple.
Hmm.
And I thought that was dope. Real dope. Yeah. So I love Nice and Smooth, man. Nice and Smooth. So that's my next pick.
So now I gotta come up with somebody else. I can't think of. Oh no, I just remember the name. I couldn't think of the group that he was in. So this dude, and I know before in a previous show I spoke about EPMD,
Yes, yes.
and once again, separate garbage, hot
Mm.
garbage. Put them together, fantastic group.
Right, right.
This one, I can't say that he was garbage outside the group. For some reason, he did not hit.
Mm.
And I will never understand why. And when I say his name, you're gonna be like, yeah, I don't know why he ain't hit neither. Because just his delivery, he was smooth with it. Grand Pooba.
Oh, I love Grand Pooba, man.
When he was with Brand Nubian,
Yes, yes, yes. Grand
hot.
Pooba.
They was hot, but for some reason, he went solo. It
Yeah,
flopped.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
They did an unsung for him too.
I got now that I gotta see. Cause I love Grand Pooba, man. Shout out to Grand Pooba and Brand Nubian. Cause if you think about it, he was very fashion forward.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If it wasn't for Grand Pooba, man, he had me wearing the jabos. You,
Right. He was a smooth
man,
dude.
if y'all don't know about Brand Nubian and Grand Pooba, please Google. Please Google. Down the line, I might put something together. Put
Right.
it on IG. You know, I've been doing that lately. But man, Grand Pooba is that guy, man. That
Yeah, I
was a good
just
pick. That
yeah,
was a good
yeah.
pick.
I just hit you with one. But listen, y'all can forget about Lord Finesse. I don't know why he coming to Eminem like that dude out his goddamn mind.
And
I
it's
mean,
it's funny. It's funny you mentioned them, Lil Finesse, because I was going to do digging in the crates, digging in the crates. Man, you got what? Fat Joe, the legendary Big L, the legendary Fat Joe,
mhm.
Diamond D, Showbiz and AG. Man, they was a serious crew there.
A lot of people don't know what digging in the crates is.
Not at all. Not at all.
Too far
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Too far back. Too far back,
But
man. But
you know who I was going to pick though?
ooh,
Main source.
man.
I'm looking at the front door.
Oh my goodness. Man, oh man. He's another large professor.
Woo!
Man.
But you know, they might know him more as a producer
Right, right.
than as a rapper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But we had some classic MCs
Yes.
back in our day. And I think if they had the exposure that these kids get now,
Mm-hmm.
the sky would have been the limit for them dudes because they were ultra talented.
Yes.
They didn't have the machines
Right, right.
um that they do now. Because once again, I hate to keep saying this, but the unsung that they did on EPMD,
Mm-hmm.
they said that when they did the when they were trying to do the beat and stuff, you know, they didn't have the machinery that they have now. So what they did was they had the tape and they said it wrapped around the room. Like they had it going around lights, mirrors, pencils to keep it looping. They
Mm.
said they had like 50 feet of tape just looped
Mm.
around the room just to
Mm.
have it constantly keep playing.
Wow.
So imagine if they had the production equipment that they have now back then. Right? Eric Sermon could make some stuff.
Yes, he could. Yes, he could. Speaking of which, what's the song Hove did it? And him and Foxy Brown. It's my thing. They did that sample first.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, yeah. And man, you're right. Their production, man, be beyond dope. Super dope. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Shout out to EPMD. Since we still on groups, De La Soul. De La Soul. From the
From the
Soul.
soul.
Black Medallion, no
No
gold.
gold.
Man, oh man. Those guys, man, very slept on group. Very, very slept on group. And those guys, man, they were spitters. They were spitters. To me, they were I guess they even called themselves hippies. So I guess they would be equivalent to Kendrick Lamar and his crew
Mm-hmm.
today. You know what I mean? They were those guys then. You know what I mean? You know, those guys with the native tongue, all those guys. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah. Me, myself, and I, Google it. One of my favorite De La Soul songs. I think they was fighting for their masters or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard to get their music, but I think they're fighting for their catalog, and that's why it's challenging to get it. I don't know where they at with it, but man,
Right.
they got a wealth of music, man. Good times, man. When I listen to De La Soul music, man, it take me to a good space, man. You know, that's when the summers was long. You know what I mean? The
Right.
days were longer. You know, every day felt like forever.
Facts.
Yeah, yeah.
So for my next one, I may have spoken upon this person before. May have said a few things. I know we had a conversation. I don't know if we actually taped it, but my last one, I'm gonna have to hit you with my boo. I'm gonna have to hit you with No, I'm just playing. I'm gonna have to hit you with my boo Moni Love.
Oh, Moni.
Moni in the
Yeah,
middle.
yeah.
Listen. So once again, ah man. You gotta. They did an unsung on her.
Okay.
And so what happened with Moni was, they were doing some one of the guys overseas, he wanted to bring some of the hip hop artists over there because they loved our music over across the pond, everywhere
Mm-hmm.
else. Like they loved it more than people outside of us did.
Mm-hmm.
So what they did was they hired her to kind of be a roadie,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying,
Mm.
schedule, have them go to the hotels and stuff like that. But she was like, yeah, but I rap. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
hey, little girl, go ahead with yourself or whatever.
Mm.
And she ended up hooking up with Latifah,
Mm.
and she displayed her skills, and she came out with an album, and she was big over there, so she
Mm.
decided to come over here.
Yeah.
She hit him
Yeah.
with that Moni in the middle, but I'm like, oh snap! Like, look at this little cutie Moni in the middle. Where's she
Right.
at in the
Right.
middle? But then when Latifah came out with Ladies First, everybody was like, yo, at that time, Latifah was on fire,
Yes, she was.
but Moni held her own.
Yes, she did. Yes,
She
she
held.
did.
That's when I'm like, oh, she's a real lyricist.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, because
Yes.
back then, I wasn't abreast upon artists having to have a radio cut.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like for a lot
Right.
of people, if you don't know, back in the day, you could have made the greatest album ever made in life. But if
Mm-hmm.
your label didn't believe that you had something that they could put on the radio and get
Right.
spin, they made you do an extra track just for
Mm-hmm.
that reason. So back then I didn't know, but I'm like, all right, that was cool. It was all right. It was cool. It was all right. But my
Mm-hmm.
more John Blaze than that.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I mean, but when she hit that Ladies First, I was like, oh no, she's just not a beauty. She's brains and she has talent.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, my last one got to be Moni Love. So make sure
Yes.
y'all check her out. Now, she's still over here. She's actually doing radio in Atlanta, I believe.
Mm.
So check her out.
I'm going to go on a limb, and this is just on a limb, and say that her verse is probably one of the best ever. At least top 20.
At least
At least. We might have to do a show on that. Verses. You know
top
what I
20, top
mean?
20 verses.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If y'all feeling that idea out there, man, let us know. Let us
Whew,
know.
that's
Log
good.
in, subscribe, hit the like button, please and thank you.
Oh, that's going that one might take a while,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
but especially with our suggestions. The top 20 verses of all time.
That's up there though. I mean, if you think about it, that her cadence and that
Right.
flow.
Yeah. But for us to come up with a top 20 verses of all time, so this would have to be like a collaborative effort.
Mm,
Not a it can't be a your 20, my 20. It
hmm.
would have to be, I guess, a consensus of, I guess we assign a point system,
Okay.
and whatever comes out with the most points gets first place, and so on and so forth in order. But yeah, that's a tough one.
That is. That
Top 20
is.
verses of all
That
time.
is. Because
You
when I
know,
heard that, I was like, man.
so make sure you put that in the community tab as a poll.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
that's a real good idea. Yeah, put that as a community tab poll. Um, top 20 verses of all time.
I
Because yeah,
love it.
and we had to do a point system, and
Yes. Yes.
because that's
Yes.
to me, sheesh, because well, for us, for us, we go back to the beginning of
Yes.
hip hop.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
ain't
Yeah.
no new stuff for us. It ain't no 2010s, 2000s,
Right.
1990s.
Right. Right. Right.
We go back to the beginning.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Man, she Moni Love, man. Moni Love, man. She definitely shined on that. Shout out to Queen Latifah, the great Queen Latifah, man. You talking about longevity, man. Her and LL, man. Every time you turn around, you turn TV on, you see them. You know what I mean? They just doing it. They
Facts.
are doing it.
They're
And I
one of the
love to
few.
see that in hip hop, man. You know what I mean? When you
Hmm.
see people like that that we came up with and they're ultra successful, it makes you feel good. You know what I mean? Hip hop is in a good place. It's in a good place.
It was in a good place.
Any parting words, Hendo?
Yeah, part words. You said hip. All right. You said hip hop is in a good place. What place is it in? Um, tell me the now generation rappers that put hip hop in a good place. Because I don't know. I don't listen to the radio.
Um, I could go through all spectrums. Man, shout out to Griselda. A couple episodes back, we talked about Griselda, and I don't know how I forgot about my man Benny the Butcher. So with Griselda is the Fly God who know they know Conway the Machine and Benny the Butcher. Now to me, and this is just my thoughts, because I know people hate when they say it's this new version of that. But to me, I feel like they taking it where Wu left off. Together they form like Voltron and they got their own little cliques and their own situation. So to me, the grittiness that we're used to or familiar with,
Hmm.
I feel like they bringing that. You know what I mean? All right, so let me think. Let me think. Um, I know I can say the usual suspects: Kendrick and J. Cole. I know I can say that, but you gotta give it to the baby. You gotta give it to the baby. Is it baby or the little baby? It's the baby.
Exactly. I think you prove a point. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. Well, well, when you get a chance, check out his documentary. He got a documentary on I want to say it's Amazon. And what I do like about him is he wasn't even trying to be a rapper. You know what I mean? And it just fell in his lap. And he's doing what he got to do. And I feel like he's an inspiration to the next generation out there. I mean, he's really out there doing it. He came from a situation where he could have went left and things could have went, in that wrong direction. And he changed life. He changed his life around and did some things. And I think, you know, he's that guy. He's that guy. And let me think about somebody else. I mean, I could always say Drake. I mean, Drake been out for a minute.
All right, y'all. So as I figured, he really has not much to say. So my parting words is nice try, didn't fly.
I got you. I got you. Well, don't give up on hip hop, man. It's somebody out there right now. You know what I mean? Eating a bowl of cereal, studying the greats. I got that line from Kendrick, not Kendrick, J. Cole. He said something like that. I think he was referring to Hov, where he was eating cereal, studying them or whatever. You know what I mean? But man, I do believe hip hop is in a good place, man. You got billionaires in hip hop. You know what I mean? You got look at ASAP Rocky and people like him. They in the fashion world doing their thing.
So
You
you
know what I
said so
mean?
so you're saying business is in a good place, not hip hop.
I, I feel
Let's not confuse the two.
I feel like hip hop is in a good place too.
Because you're an optimist. Is hip hop in a good place, or is where hip hop is taking certain people in a good place?
Mm.
There's a distinction.
Hmm. I guess that's a conversation for another day. I guess that's a conversation for another day.
Hmm.
But I still believe I have to give it some thought. But I still believe hip hop is it's the future, and it's trending in a good space. It's
Right.
not going anywhere no time soon.
It's not going anywhere, period, sir. But
Right,
yes,
right.
hip hop, you know what? I got to agree. Hip hop is in a good place. We got grown men in wedding dresses sucking on the end of
Uh,
guns. Hip hop is in an awesome, awesome place.
you got diversity in hip hop.
Awesome.
Speaking of that, you got that diversity which you didn't have.
We've always had diversity in hip hop.
Well, let me say this: we could,
I know what you're trying to say. I'm just messing with you.
yeah. I just want to be politically correct with what I was going to say,
We
but
weren't we weren't politically incorrect,
right,
but
yeah.
from where we come from, that's not hip hop.
Mm.
That's shock and awe. That's you trying to make a name for yourself by putting yourself out. It's like this YouTube stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Some people want to get recognition and notoriety, so they go out here and do some of the dumbest stuff to get the fastest recognition.
Yeah,
That ain't hip hop.
this is true.
I mean,
That
if
is
you want to
not
wear a
hip
wedding
hop.
dress, you wear a wedding dress. If you
Oh
like
Lord.
sucking on pistols, you suck on a pistol. I mean, that's
Oh,
no on some real. If that's what you like doing, that's what you like doing. But let's
mhm.
not associate that with hip hop. Let's
Yeah.
not say that is hip hop because it's not. I mean, I'm not here to define what is and what isn't hip hop. I'm not the end all be all to it, but I
Mm-hmm.
can tell you for a fact that's not what hip hop was designed for.
This is true.
It's nothing for shock and awe.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not the religion I subscribe to.
Or is it? You think about it, shock and awe. That could go several ways. I mean, Luke, for example, that was shock. That was a shock value. NWA, to an extent, we ain't know nothing. I mean, they took gangster rap to a whole nother plateau.
But no, what they did was they took the reality of how they lived to another plateau.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, Luke was out here getting money, so he was messing around with strippers, partying, doing all
Mhm.
these wild things. He rapped about it.
Yeah.
You sitting in a wedding dress. I'm not sure if you sit in a wedding dress sucking on pistols all day is what you do, but that's what you're portraying. Like I'm not
Mhm.
saying it's what you do, but it's a difference, in my opinion.
I got you. I got you.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So some of the stuff these dudes is doing today, and like I told you about that one little kid, I don't know his name, but I just that sketch is just etched in my brain when he was on the show and they asked him to freestyle
Hmm.
and he couldn't do it.
Mm.
He just was like, whatever. And they was like, yo, you garbage. Like, he was like, I don't have to do anything. I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
So once again, they're categorizing themselves as rock stars,
Mm-hmm.
not rap stars, not rappers, not hip hop artists. They consider themselves rock stars.
Hmm.
Pop.
Hmm.
They're a part of the pop gen.
Hmm.
It's not hip hop.
Hmm.
But they are rapping.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I ain't mad at nobody how they get their bag.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get your money, you get your money. You gotta do what you gotta do. Some people want to compromise their integrity, want to compromise who they are. I mean, that's on you. I can't tell you how to make your bread.
Yeah.
But my thing is, don't put it under that umbrella
Mm-hmm.
of what we consider hip hop.
Yeah. Yeah. I got you. I got you.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, on the brighter side, I mean, you got, so look at Diddy. He got a whole network, you know. Look at Dr. Dre. He made gazillions off of headphones, along with other stuff, you
Facts.
know. Latifah, LL, you know. We talked about last episode, if you haven't seen it. Master P. I mean, Master P, you could listen to Master P and eat his products at the
Facts.
same time.
Hey Dre,
Hmm.
when the last time you seen any of the people you just mentioned walk around in lingerie?
All right, my parting words. Man, be good and do good. That's my parting words. You like how I did that? I curved that whole question.
I know. It wasn't subtle and it wasn't smooth, but it's what it
Yeah.
is.
You know it's raining today. Yeah. See? See how I'm curving the question?
But you're not doing it smooth like. You're doing it
Okay.
like these rappers today.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Awkward, out of place,
Oh man.
offbeat.
Oh Lord. Man. That's some man, I'm gonna send you a list of guys.
No, please don't.
I'm gonna
Don't.
send you a list.
Do not. Do not.
Yeah,
No,
when
no,
I'm done, I promise you, you're gonna
no.
fall back in love with what's going on.
Bruh, you've known me long enough to know. If I don't bump with something, it's gonna take hell and high water to get me to bump with it.
Mm,
You know this. I'm an old man. I'm stubborn.
mm,
Now it's like I said, there's some things that I hear on the radio. I'm like, all right, that's catchy, that's cool, whatever.
mm,
But I don't want to hear it all the time.
yeah.
I can hear it once every 2 or 3 years, and I'll be like, all right, that was cool.
But if you think about it, when we were young, we had those same scenarios. I don't want to throw nobody out there, but it was guys back in the day. He was like,
But
you
my
know, what's
question to
going on?
but my question to you, Dre, is those same I don't know, dudes, were they mainstream? Were they the ones that were being hyped up? Were they the ones being put to the forefront, played on the radio all the time?
They
They were
had
not.
hits.
No. That's not what I asked you. So therein lies the difference.
Mm. Well, speaking of which, if you guys agree with me or if you agree with Hendo, let us know. Let us know in the comments. Like, subscribe, all of the above. That's my real part words.
Indeed. I agree with that.
Yeah. Anything you want to add? I'm afraid to ask you.
Nah, I'm good, bro. I think we took this video long enough.
All right. Well, until next time, stay tuned. Isn't that what they used to say on the Cape Crusaders? Remember they used to say something like that?
Yeah.
Same time, same channel.
The same bat time, same bat channel.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah. At noon. Every Friday at noon, man. Y'all turn in. Holidays coming up, man. Y'all can binge it.
Facts.
Yeah. So we out. Until next time.